Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rome Stale Crewzer, a new model for 2021. This board features Rome's fusion camber, which is traditional camber into a very micro rocker or flat section right before the upkick in the tip and the tail. So basically it's traditional camber with just a bigger flat spot before the upkick in the tail. This board is available in 148, 151, 154, 156, 158, 156 wide, and 160 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was sunny bluebird, 0 winds, and you just had a mix of all snow conditions. So it was either perfectly good groomers or chunder, lumpy, dust on crust, death cookies and shit, and I rode it with my Rome black label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. So there's 3 distinct flex points in this board. You got right out at the nose, right out at the tail, and right in the dead center. Otherwise, it's a middle of the road, predictable flex like so many other boards out there on the market. Like, you're gonna notice that right away. It's very, very predictable. If anything, it feels like a slightly stiffer Warden from Rome. So if you know that board, then you know what you're kind of getting here. Basically, flex is here, here, and here. You have a little bit more torsional flex than you do out in the tip and the tail. And when it comes to stability on this thing, you're gonna feel a lot of vibrations and chatter. It's just the nature of the beast with this board, but it doesn't wash out. It doesn't buckle in uneven terrain. It stays on top of it. Just keep your knees bent and just be prepared that this board does have limitations. It's not something you're going to go haul Mach 10 through a mogul field and not feel anything with. But at the same time, if you're on a groomer, you know, you're going to get a little chatter out in the tip of the tail and it might start to resonate back underfoot, but it's not really going to kill you or cause major foot fatigue. This is one of those boards that you can be laid back or assertive with, and you're still going to get good rebound and snap out of this board. You do have to load that traditional camber section up, and when you do, it wants to pop back. You got the rods out in the tip and the tail, which really just add bonus to the snap you're going to get from this board. So if you want to launch a side hit or a roller, go for it. And when it comes to jumping, this board's totally comfortable hitting jumps. Small, medium, large, you might be pushing it on there depending on how big you're actually going, but I'd say anything like 20 to 30 feet, it's going to be totally comfortable with the pop that it has and just how it lands. So as I previously mentioned, there's a sweet spot in the tip and the tail that's a flex point, and it's right at the end of the rod, right before the upkick in the tip or the tail. It's basically that section where the camber ends and the rocker begins, or the flat, whatever you want to call it. I mean, when you look at this board, you can kind of see. So basically right where the camber ends, you get this little section, and that's where you want to lock in. Now, when you do, that rod is going to activate and you're going to feel it fight you. So just be prepared that this board's going to have some rebound when you swivel and sizzle and get sideways doing your butters. Speed will be your friend. And that's the same with jibbing. You want to put a little speed and a little more emphasis into this board to get it to lock into presses. Just be aware that it's probably going to fight you a little bit. When you get sideways on a rail, that camber zone hugs it. It slides smoothly. You don't really have to worry about it. This board's designed for basically a slope style type of party boarder, someone that's going to still hit jibs, hit jumps, and kind of do everything in between. So it's not going to be the best at jibbing. It's not going to be the worst. You just got to be aware of it and bring your A game a little bit just to know how to get it to set down and lock into board slides or presses. So the strong suit of carving with this board is mellow carves or quick and nimble, tight setup turns. That's really where it stands out. When you're trying to lay it over on edge, you run into the limitations of this board. Yes, you can lay it over on edge, but you got to kind of pick and choose your battles with it. You can overpower this board. It's one of those boards that it's not the best at hardcore Euro carving 24/7, but if you need to lay down a toe-side trench around a family of stupid skiers, you're going to be able to get the job done. Just know that from the midsection back, when you're really driving that carve, you can overpower this board. So you have to know where the limitations are so that you don't turn it up to 11, because if you do, you're probably going to eat shit, die, they're going to point and laugh at you, and then their fat little skier kid's going to spray you. So just be aware of that. But if you're party boarding and you're just doing tight, quick setup turns going into a feature or just mellow carves around the park, it's got you covered. So who's this board for? The camber loving, party board flexing, freestyle focused rider. Basically, someone that just wants a playful board that they can kind of do everything with, but it doesn't fully excel. So in my opinion, this is kind of just a beefed up Rome Warden, which isn't a bad thing. You know, you get a little more snap, it's a little stiffer, it's a little more stable in there. It's a playful board, but it has its limitations. You learn that really quick, and once you do, you kind of just compensate your riding around it. Is it a bad board? No. Is it a great board? It's okay. I mean, there's other boards in the Rome lineup that it stacks up against as well. But if you really like pro models and you like Stale Sandback, you'll probably like this board as well. Comparable boards: the United Shapes Cadet, the Interior Plane Project Haro, the Libtech Short Wide. This has been my review of the 2021 Rome Stale Crewzer. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us and just see us grow out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.